She said she couldn't love my daughter the same. When Mia told me she didn't want to adopt my daughter, the world stopped spinning for a second. It wasn't the words themselves. It was what they meant. It was every memory, every promise, every bedtime story collapsing into something hollow. And now, she's shocked that my daughter calls her Mia instead of Mom. I had Hannah when I was 17. Her mom disappeared before Hannah was even born. One conversation about keeping the baby, and she was gone forever. It was just me and this tiny little person who relied on me for everything. I worked late shifts, slept in cars, sometimes skipped meals so she could eat. I promised myself I'd never let her feel unwanted. When I met Mia 7 years later, I didn't think love was something I'd ever get again. I was working in a small coffee shop, exhausted, covered in espresso stains. When she walked in, she was confident, warm, and funny, in that quiet, steady way that makes you feel safe. When I told her about Hannah, she didn't flinch. She asked to meet her. Their first meeting was chaos. Hannah spilled an entire cup of juice down Mia's shirt. I froze, waiting for that familiar look of annoyance people get around kids. But Mia laughed. "Guess I needed to do laundry anyway," she said. That's when I thought, this is it. This is family. We got married when Hannah was 8. She was our flower girl, beaming as she walked down the aisle. Mia held her hand the entire ceremony. Later, we had 2 more kids, Emma and Tyler. And from the outside, it looked like we had it all. Family photos, holidays, school events. We were a unit, or so I thought. A month ago, Hannah came to me crying, happy tears. She wanted Mia to adopt her for her 16th birthday. She wanted her last name changed. She said, "I want everyone to know she's my real mom." I nearly broke down. After all these years, my daughter finally felt whole. I told Mia that night, expecting joy. She smiled, hugged me, said she'd do it. She even told Hannah the next morning they'd start the paperwork soon. Hannah was glowing. I'd never seen her so happy. Then, that same night, Mia asked to talk. Her face was pale, her hands shaking. "I can't do it," she said. "I've been thinking about it all day. I love Hannah, but it's different. Not like Emma and Tyler. It wouldn't be right to lie about it on paper." Her words hit me like a physical blow. I stared at her, trying to process. "So what, you've been pretending?" She shook her head. "No, I care about her, but she's not mine. Not really." I told her to say nothing. I'd find a way to tell Hannah gently. I spent 3 sleepless nights trying to come up with words that wouldn't destroy her. But I didn't need to, because Hannah found out on her own. I came home early one day and found her sitting at the kitchen table, Mia's phone in her hand, tears streaking her face. She'd answered a call from Mia's brother and saw their text thread. Mia had written, "I don't know how to tell her I can't do this. She's not really mine. I don't want to be legally responsible for someone else's kid. I love my husband, but it's too much." When Hannah looked up at me, her eyes were empty. "You knew, didn't you?" she whispered. I tried to explain, told her I was trying to protect her, but she just shook her head and walked away. That night, she didn't come to dinner. Mia went upstairs, knocked softly, said, "Honey, dinner's ready." And from behind the door came a voice so cold it made my heart stop. "Mia, I'm not hungry." Since that moment, she hasn't called her mom once. At breakfast, "Mia, can you pass the milk?" At bedtime, "Good night, Dad." She won't even look at her. The little ones are confused. Emma asked why Hannah doesn't call Mommy Mommy anymore. Tyler asked if that means Hannah isn't their sister. I told them, Hannah will always be your sister. Mia went white. That's when it hit her, what she'd actually done. Last week, I found Hannah filling out legal forms to change her last name back to mine. "Why keep hers if she doesn't want me to have it?" she said quietly. Mia is unraveling. She's been trying to fix it, buying gifts Hannah won't touch, writing notes that go unread, begging her to talk. She sits outside her door at night, crying softly. "Yesterday," she said, "I made the biggest mistake of my life, but it's too late." Hannah told me last night she's done. I spent 8 years believing I finally had a real mom. Now I know it was only ever conditional, and that broke something in me I don't think can be repaired. Because how do you stay married to someone who could shatter your child's heart like that? Mia keeps asking what to do, but I think we both know the answer.